All right, guys, welcome into January's edition of Behind the Beat. Back for another year. I think this is like the third or fourth year, technically, I've been doing this every month, which is very exciting. And today we're going to highlight a track that is just being released here in January off of my new EP, Homemade Soups with Beatmology. This one's titled French Onion. The other three were singles that all got released. This was the one that just came out with the EP. The other three, Clam Chowder, broccoli cheddar, and minestrone, all different types of soups. Minestrone had Strappa on it. Shout out to Strappa, amazing saxophonist, instrumentalist, producer. Love collaborating with him. But this one is probably my personal favorite, so I chose to highlight this one today. I guess I'll give a little bit of a backstory on the EP first. If you remember last year with Beatmology, I did the Fresh Mints EP. It was kind of like an ode to just chill winter beats, for this time of year. So I kind of wanted to do like part two, like an unofficial part two for a different type of food. So I actually made a joke to my brother. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do the soups EP. Like the soups, it's gonna be a thing. And I just made a joke about it. And then I ended up having, a few beats laying around that I didn't really know what to do with. And I thought to myself, maybe the winter's coming up. Maybe I could just do the soups thing. It would make sense because what hits better on a winter day than some homemade soup? So I chose four random soups. They might not be your favorites. I don't even eat French onion. I'll be honest. I don't eat minestrone either, or broccoli cheddar, or clam chowder. I'm thinking about it. I don't eat any of the soups that are on the CP. I eat tomato soup, chicken noodle soup, and a couple others. But I chose like four random ones that I feel like people would know, or most people would know, be familiar with. And that's pretty much what I did. And then I pitched it to Beatmology. And this is now the fourth EP that is out there with us in partnership. And yeah, it kind of just started as a joke. And then, it kind of evolved into a real thing. So yeah, hopefully people enjoy the project though. And this track, like I said, it's probably my favorite from the EP. And it really all started with the sample. So we're going to get into it here. The sample that has some nice elements to it. It's got a flute element. It's got some keys to it. I'll play you the original because it's very short, and then I'll show you how I chopped it up. So let's hear that. Oh, not from there. Like that is only, I think, like 5 seconds or so, but you hear that flute at the end there. I wanted to make sure to utilize that specifically because I really like that part. So here's what I did to kind of stretch it out to 8 bars, make it a little bit longer. So I almost kept it kind of the same as the sample itself, where it almost ends the same way at every 4 bars. But I just wanted to give it more like chops and actual make it a bit more unique. It's kind of the goal. So next up we had the bass guitar, and I don't know if I ended up swapping out drums. Maybe that's why I did the bass first and then went for the drums. Usually I would do like the drums next. But sometimes it doesn't really matter. It's kind of just what I catch in the moment or what I hear first. So this bass guitar is a very nice touch, and I just gave it a little bit of variation there in the first 4 bars, and I'll let it play out for the rest of it. So let's hear that. Nothing over the top on that one. And then next up is these drums that are definitely hip hop style drums, definitely boom bap. This is 92 BPM, so it's not super, high energy. I just wanted to, like I said, capture that chill type of energy. So here are those. It sounds really good with that bass line too. I always say just utilizing what you have, and trying to keep it as simple as possible, and just let the music kind of do its thing. Has always benefited me. So I think this is a great example of that. Just being able to keep it as simple as possible, and let it just do what it has to do. And the only other element is obviously got to have some pads in there, as you guys probably know if you've watched any of these videos by now. And these pads are very simple, literally just a 4-bar loop, and it's got a little bit of variation to it, but not a ton. I kind of tucked it in the mix. Well, I guess I didn't tuck it as much as I thought. I thought I tucked it a little bit more than that, but I think the way that I EQ'd it and just added reverb to it gave it a little bit of a kind of a masked feeling. But you can definitely hear it in the actual final beat as well. So let's hear that. So that's it. Just replays twice. There's no effects or anything on that. Yeah, very simple. So that is it. I mean, that is the full beat. The only other thing that's on here is a low pass filter on the outro for that main loop. And it's a very short beat, too. I think I like to keep some of the more in depth beats, or maybe the ones that are drawn out more for different projects, like my solo projects and things like that. But when I do some of these collabs with labels and stuff, I almost just give them the ideas that I have that I just don't know what to do with, that I still believe in. And this is definitely one of those. So let's hear the full thing now. And I still have the full mastering limiter on and everything, so that's basically how it sounds as the final. But very easy to mix because there's only 4 different elements in this, and that's been a big thing for me too. Is just keeping it concise. So the mixing at the end also sounds pretty good. I think the mix for that one sounds pretty good, even just playing it back now. So not bad. So that is French Onion. That is part of Homemade Soups, which by the time this video drops, the EP probably should be out. I think it's coming out in like the second week of the year. But go check it out. Shout to Strappa for I can talk. Collaborating with me on Minestrone. And shout out to Beatmology for partnering once again. Another EP. Looking forward to working with them. Or continuing to work with them moving forward. And this is kind of the beginning of a lot of exciting music that I have for you guys this year. Not really sure what's going to be February's beat yet, but yeah, there'll be something good, I'm sure. And I guess I just want to say I am excited to keep this series going, especially with the whole AI music making thing becoming more prevalent. Um, for me, my process is not complicated. It's not over the top. I don't use a ton of effects or a ton of fancy gear or anything like that. Most of the time, I'm literally using Splice, or I'm just sampling different things from YouTube and putting things together. But I want to show people through doing this series that the process is fun, and the process is supposed to be a little bit challenging too. Like, the whole point of being a creative is to challenge yourself, put yourself out of your comfort zone, but most of all, have fun. I think a lot of these companies that are, making AI generated music or pushing it are trying to tell people that this stuff is boring and this stuff isn't fun anymore. So you should just plug it into a prompt and have the prompt do the work for you. I think if that's how you feel, I don't think you should be making music. at all because you don't have the love for it. You don't have the passion for it. It has to start with you enjoying what you're doing, just like anything else. Um, and through this series, like I said, I'm not showing anybody a ton of tricks or anything. Most producers would probably see how I make stuff and be like, wow, that's really boring. He doesn't even add any effects on it. He doesn't even, do a ton of crazy, work on anything. But I'm still putting in the effort to create something from scratch and create something new, even out of existing material that I'm using. So I just want to say that, I think that's why I want to keep doing Behind the Beat, especially now, because that is unfortunately becoming more prevalent. And I don't think it's going to go away. I think it's only going to get worse. But I think it's up to people that actually create music and actually love music to show other people that it still is something that can be fulfilling and something that you should do. So I just want to say that before I got out of here. And like I said, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully, you enjoy homemade soups. Be on the lookout for the next one coming in February, the next Behind the Beat. And until then, stay safe, stay positive. We'll see you guys next time.